morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Business Today Television and on Market Today. I am your host, Shailendra Bhatnagar. Let's look at how the markets are structured this Thursday, which is also the weekly expiry of the Nifty. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 5 trading sessions, there has been a run as far as Dalal Street is concerned. Bulls are prancing around. 4.2% is the 5 day gain as far as the Nifty is concerned, as also the Bank Nifty, which has appreciated 5.2%. In fact, all 50 shares in the Nifty in the last 5 trading sessions have ended in the green, with the top gainer being IndusInd Bank, up 15%. There is a rally of sorts on the Dalal Street, ladies and gentlemen, as people figure out the waning tariff war between the rest of the world and the America, as also the fact that many other market quick indicators such as crude oil prices at 4 year lows, US 10 year bond yield slipping below 200-day DMA, the dollar index being below 100 are all signs that the risk on trade is back. Perhaps the only cause for fear is global record highs on gold, which essentially means that the risk on trade somewhere is still in the making. The Nifty is open 109 points lower, 0.5% down, 23,329. This is more or less expected because that's how the FNO expiry is likely to pan out, a consolidating wave after 5 days of very strong gains. We are now joined by Mr. Chakri Lokpriya, a very well-known market analyst and the CIO for equities at LGT Wealth. Good morning to you, Chakri, and a very warm welcome. How do you reckon sentiment on Dalal Street? Is the worst behind us given the sharp uptick that we've seen in the previous 5 sessions?
Good morning, Shail. Always good to be on your show. And you're absolutely right. I think the fear is slowly going down. And this has been aided by both the tariff war coming to a 90-day pause, as well as, RBI cutting rates and moving to an accommodative stance. And I think there would probably at least 1 or 2 rate cuts before the end of this year. And so a combination of both of these things has helped to revive some amount of risk on sentiment. And also the fundamentals were always improving even before the whole market volatility started. But because of the uncertainty of the tariff, the markets were very volatile and down. So I think for now, India is in a better place as far as tariffs are concerned. It has fewer exports to the US. India is in talks with the US government, and they'll hopefully reach an agreement within the next 90 days.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to show you some prices in the market. ICICI Bank is 1/3% higher at 1361. Remember, this rally, Bank Nifty has outperformed the Nifty. The index, which comprises of 12 lenders, is up 5.2% in the previous 5 sessions. And more importantly, HDFC Bank, which is the heaviest weighted counter, not only in the Bank Nifty as also in the Nifty, has hit a record high. A very strong move coming across the board as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, and that's accompanied by even stronger gains that you see in some stocks such as Narayan Hirdale, 1.7% higher, 1824, another record high. Bharti Airtel is at a record high. So these are 2 or 3 stocks within the Nifty, in particular HDFC Bank, Eicher Motors, and Bharti Airtel, that are at record highs at current levels. Chakri, coming back to you, what is your strategy to deploy cash at the moment? Where are you concentrating your energies as far as markets are concerned on the long side?
I think we're doing 2 or 3 things, and this started off just prior to the first tariffs were announced before April 2nd. And so what we did is we said, let's look at primarily domestic-facing sectors, which don't have any exports. And India, fortunately, is a services economy. 80% of the economy is domestic. So if we stayed away from, some of the metals, export-facing sectors, we would be fine. And financials, after the RBI rate cut now, given that, yes, the volumes of the business is expected to go up over the coming quarters. And also with the competitive stance, a further impetus is there. And there has been a sign of, improving government spend, capex spend. So financials across the board, whether it's private, public, or NBFCs, is what we buy.
Okay, wonderful. I'd also like you to delve upon the kind of bottom fishing and strong buying that's witnessed in public sector stocks. Look at Erida, look at Hudco, a strong move coming in on GMDC yesterday. Uh, there is a fairly decent buying in frontline power stocks such as Coal India, NTPC. How are you seeing the entire PSU basket? And of course, defense has come back and back with a bang. What's your view on PSU space? Mostly all of them are domestically oriented, something that you prefer.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you look at, whether PSU banks, whether it is the mid-cap Union Bank, Canara Bank, or the large ones, the largest State Bank of India, all these companies are very strong balance sheets. They've repaired their books. They're very clean. And when the government capex is now comes back, it will come back only primarily to the PSU banks first. And given that the valuations were always very reasonable, what was lacking was a growth catalyst. So with now the growth catalyst in place, those PSU banks are looking good. And where are they spending? They're spending in power. How do you finance power? Is through power financiers like IREDA, Power Finance, REC. So that's the next space that also we are looking at.
Fair point. So that's a pretty strong number of stocks that you are looking at. Nifty at the moment around 23,400, still down 34, but that's more or less likely to be seen in the right spirit. Remember, in the last 5 trading sessions, in this weekly expiry, the index has gained 4.2%. So a bit of profit booking is more or less in line. Uh, Chakri, two stocks, Bharti Airtel record high and Indus Stars showing decent strength. How are you analyzing the telecom space for your clients?
Bharti Airtel is clearly the strongest company in the telecom space. The whole industry is, due for a price increase of tariffs, ARPUs, and so that will improve the ARPUs. And second, they continue to maintain at least their market share. The other players are in, like Vodafone, are in problems. And therefore, Bharti still looks good at the current levels. As far as Indus Towers, I think the bit uncertainty over how the future, long-term future of telecom, how much of it will go to satellite, etc. And so therefore, I think Bharti Airtel is what we're sticking with.
Hmm. Uh, a word also on information technology stocks, in particular TCS, Infosys. It seems that the investment thesis here is cracked. TCS added just 625 people in the quarter gone by. How do you see this space, Chakri, against the backdrop of what is happening in the US?
If you look at Wipro, which reported numbers just today, they continue to say that there is a client uncertainty about, while the order book is fairly strong, they're taking time to convert that order book into revenue. So that clearly tells us that the companies are waiting and watching until the tariff numbers becomes more clear. And of course, while IT services is not a part of the tariff because it is a services industry, so it will not be subject to tariffs. The fear is that if the US slows down, then discretionary spend for IT comes down. So until that dust settles, which is probably another couple of months, we'd be underweight IT.
Okay. The Bank Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, has settled 36 points higher. As I was telling you, the fact that we have HDFC Bank at record high is one of the reasons why you have this stronger outperformance on the Nifty Bank. IT index has settled 1.3% lower. That's primarily on account of Infosys earnings at 32,832. I think at 32,800, the Nifty IT index is definitely at a multi-month low. Let's just check that number. Yes, so you have the lowest since June, 5th of June. That's where the index is. And this is a painful time. Already it's corrected about 32, 33% from its most recent high, which was somewhere in the vicinity of 45,000. So, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a pain point. Uh, you won't be bottom fishing at the IT space, Chakri?
While the valuations have come down, because of the growth revival is something which we have to wait and watch. We will wait for some more time. We would not bottom fish at this current time.
Okay. 909, we are about 7 minutes away from the market's opening. Chakri, any view that you would offer on pharmaceutical stocks? They have been extremely volatile over the last 15 sessions. They were spared the tariff, then they got the rod, and at this moment, there seems to be more volatility than clarity. Within pharma, have you been shopping, and if yes, on what stocks?
You summed it up perfectly well, and about the volatility, and therefore, so let's assume the worst case scenario that U.S. imposes tariffs. The tariff is likely to be about 10%. The reason it's 10% is India imposes 10% tariff of pharmaceutical imports into India from the US. So if they impose a like-to-like tariff, that's the figure. If that happens, then given that some of the companies have 40-50% or more of their sales going to the US, those come, so net of the whole thing, if you do the math, probably the earnings will come down about 5%. So therefore, I don't think there's much downside from the current levels for pharmaceutical companies.
Okay, fair point. And a quick view on cement space. The reason why I ask is it's completely domestically oriented, has no fear of tariffs. Consolidation has happened over the last 18 to 24 months, and valuations were always fairly modest. Any strong picks in the cement space?
Cement is likely to continue to revive volumes. There's some amount, so cement will do better. Pricing is marginally improving. Against that backdrop, if you first buy the large caps, which is Ultratech and Ambuja, and then you move down the curve, maybe Dalmia and to an extent maybe Shri Cement. I think those companies will do well in the current scenario, and there's ample growth that's available because the valuations are very attractive.
Hmm. Chakri, a normal monsoon is what has been predicted 1.5%, 105% of the long term average. Any favorites on the monsoon theme?
The monsoons, well, people generally talk about consumer staples. We will stay away from consumer staples because the valuations of Hindustan Lever, Nestle, all those type of companies are still very high. So what we would look for is in the consumer discretionary space, companies like Blue Star, more things like that, which are more discretionary in nature. So that, or even Trent, where the stock has fallen, or some of the retail companies. That's where we would look at.
Okay, Blue Star is an interesting thought that you mentioned. Of course, uh, North India is at the throes of a very strong summer. February was just mildly cold, and summer itself has sort of increased its intensity, at least in North India. Let's see how companies such as Blue Star, Voltas, Havels perform. A view on gold before we let you go, Chakri. Record highs, and that's gladdened the hearts of Indian housewives. But investors in jewelry stocks have been really taken to the cleaners. So, a view on gold first, and then maybe your view on Titan.
Gold, as you pointed out, is at an all-time lifetime high, and in these times, we at best it trades. There's a time correction, but the gold prices does not meaningfully come down from here. So from that perspective, once investors get used to watching gold at a relatively price at where it is, then the interest will come back into a tighten because that demand for tighten is driven by end demand. People going into the stores and buying gold jewelry, etc. And so I think that demand for tighten will remain intact.
Fair point. How do you look at the key negatives at this point of time? Do you think there is the chance of a strong downside at the current levels on the Nifty for whatever reason?
I think there are two reasons. One is at a global level, if the tariff 90-day pause, so which means that we're racing towards sometime in mid June. If by mid June, some of the major countries, that is the EU and China, reach some kind of an agreement with the US, then the concerns over slowdown, global slowdown, as well as in the resultant inflation would come down. So I think that is the key risk is in EU and China reaching an agreement with the US by June or July of this year.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the markets are upon us. Nifty is down 68 points. The first stock that you need to pay attention to is Infosys. Let's see how it's doing. Infosys at the moment is down 19 rupees at 1234, and my apologies, 1393. And TCS is down 1.5% at 3222. In terms of most active list, a fresh record high on HDFC. Wipro, in sympathy with Infosys, has shed another 5% at 235. Stronger sense coming into banks. ICICI Bank is up 1.2%. Bharti Airtel, again, fresh record high, 0.5% higher, 1831. Axis Bank in the green. Mazgaon Dock in the green. You have Vari Energies 4% higher at 2320, and of course, you have a nice green tick on Axis Bank as well. Let's just look at the broader markets. The advanced decline ratio on the weekly expiry day is even Stevens. 1082 shares are in the green, 950 are in the red. That's really good. Out of the 19 indices that we track, 11 are in the green. The top index gainer is the pharma index, 0.5% higher. It's the auto index, which is it's the IT index, which is the underperformer, now down 2% at 32,600. And of course, the mid cap 100 index is marginally in the green, as also the small cap index. So, fairly decent kind of an opening. Banks are in top shape. Let's look at what the Nifty Bank is doing at the point, 150 points higher. And in terms of contribution, as far as banks are concerned, you have, of course, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank doing the honors. A nice green shade of green as far as markets are concerned in the PSU segment. Bank of Maharashtra 1.9% higher, 48.5. Bank of India 1.1% higher, 116.8. Indian Overseas Bank 1.5% higher, gains on Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, PNB as well. So fairly decent kind of an opening as far as markets are concerned. Weekly expiry. IT in pain, mainly on account of the numbers that have come in from Infosys, and of course, pain all around in that entire sector. Joining us now is Mr. Mitesh Panchal, a very well-known analyst of charts and looks at market from the point of view of short-term moves. Namaste to you, Mitesh ji, and a very warm welcome. How do you see market opening today on weekly expiry day? And any thoughts that you can share on individual stock futures? What looks good?
Good morning, Shalji. Good morning to the panelists. Good morning to all our viewers. First of all, market opening is so far so good, so no complaint. Let's see how the day pans out going forward. But few stocks are looking pretty interesting. One of them is, as you know, since last 2 to 3 trading sessions, the fertilizer space is buzzing. So Chambal Fertilizer at this point of time at 665 is at 664 is looking pretty interesting. So with a stop of 650, one can go long in Chambal at 664 for the potential target of 680 and 690. Second thing, since last 2 to 3 trading sessions, BHEL is looking interesting both on hourly chart and daily chart. So at 227, BHEL, BHEL is also looking pretty interesting with a stop of 220 for the potential target of 235 and 240. So in the opening trade, Shailji, two stocks are looking pretty interesting. First is Chambal Fertilizer, second is BHEL.
Okay. Mitesh, I'd like you to comment on Infosys and TCS. Uh, lots of people are now calling us. They're a bit worried. Infosys is the lowest since May 2024. That makes it almost an 11-month low. The stock has corrected sharply as well, about 35, 36%. Despite the pain that we are seeing in the market, what are the charts of Infosys telling you? Is the pain likely to continue?
Okay, so before I come to Infosys, Sergi, let me throw some light on the Nifty IT index. So Nifty IT has made its all-time high at 46,088 on 30th of December 2024 on a weekly basis. And we are of the view that probably the entire IT space and Nifty IT is approaching the bottom. The hypothesis is based on the fact that for the week ended 7th of June 2024, indices have made a low of 31,320. And after that, it's a one-way run to the tune of 46,088. After that, it has made a recent low at 30,918. So we are of the view, Shalji, that the Nifty IT has formed a double bottom in the range of 30,918 and 31,320. So probably sooner than later, the IT index will perform very well on the upside. Now coming to the Infosys, see if you look at the chart pattern of Infosys, again, the stock has spent a quality time between the range of 1296 to 1320 in the month of June, July 2023. And we are exactly approaching that particular line. So again, as far as Infosys is concerned, we are of the view that Infosys is again on the verge of a double bottom formation. At the current level, it is a very interesting buy. On the contrary, LG, we have recommended TCS, Wipro, and Infosys as a contra buy at this point of time and deployed 30% of our capital. So, in case, supposing, say, if we want to invest 100 rupees, then we have invested 30 rupees right now. So, we have initiated a technical coverage on all these three stocks. So, for us, it's a great buying opportunity.
Okay, let's get a view in from Chakri. Given the fact, Chakri, that both TCS and Infosys are debt free, they have billions of dollars in cash and cash equivalents, very, very strong parentage and management ability to weather storms. Is there a price level at which you find these two stocks attractive, given the broader pain? That's understandable, That's the reason why they're down 33% from their all time highs. What are the buying zones for you as far as TCS Infosys is concerned?
TCS Infosys are still trading at probably about 24, 25 times the PE 1 year forwards. And so what is required is a revival of growth, evidence of revival of growth. So now if we go back to the lows of the market, which was prior to the COVID lows, because at COVID, these stocks all re-rated, the multiples re-rated. If you do that, then there's probably another 4-5% downside in terms of the valuation. So in other words, there is not much of downside to the current stocks, whether it's Infosys, TCS. What is lacking is a catalyst to take it up.
Fair point. So we'll await that catalyst, maybe 1 quarter worth of pain still left in the system. Mitesh, because he invests in beaten down stocks quite a lot, has a 33%, wants you to buy 1/3 of your IT allocation at this point of time. Mitesh ji, any view that is emerging in your mind as far as PSU stocks are concerned? Strong breakouts are being observed in counters like GMDC, RVNL, defense is in full form. How are you analyzing the PSU space?
Yes, very interesting question, Sanji. I think last time when I was there on the show, we had discussed this theme with Shakshi at length. What we are of the view for the financial year 2025-26 is that PSU will come back. Generally, all the old heroes of the last rally will not get repeated, but we have changed our view. Earlier, we are of the view that PSU will not perform and they will not come back. For example, we have seen a great run in the Kochi Shipyard, Musgao Dock, NBCC, SJVN, BHEL. But I think the way by which the stocks have performed in last 2 to 3 weeks, it is giving us a lot of comfort now on the weekly chart that yes, the bottom is in the place, and probably for the financial year 25-26, one should not ignore this sector. So yes, we have a re-rating call on this sector. We have reviewed our call and we are of the view that the entire sector will perform exceptionally well in the next 3 to 6 months and probably surprise everyone on the street. So we are ultra bullish on entire PSU space.
Okay, three stocks that you feel would be meriting your attention on the long side, and if you've put in some fresh capital in the PSUs, please share those names.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I mean, to the broader theme, there are too many stocks in this sector. So the first choice always is PSU ETF, what we are recommending to our clients, so that you can buy everything in one go. So PSU ETF is the easiest way to participate in this theme. Apart from that, as far as stock selection is concerned, I think the first choice goes to BHEL, BHEL at 225.26. We think that it's an attractive buy going forward. We may see stock again trading between the range of 280, 320. Second is NBCC, again a very strong beaten down counter from a level of 130, 140, available at 98. So again, this is the stock which is going to perform very well going forward with the current price at 98. One should go long for the target of again 130, 140. And second is from the steel sector, a contrabat on sale. I think sale is available at a very attractive level at 112, 113. So sale is again a preferred buy. On the upside, we may see 150, 160 levels. So BHEL, NBCC, and sale are the three preferred picks. But the easiest way for a retail investor is to go and buy the PSU ETF.
Okay, fair point. PSUs, ETFs, ladies and gentlemen, till about 3-4 days ago, we had analyzed the on Business Today television, and it has 11 stocks. The highest weightage, let me just check, was in I think the power stocks. Anyway, we will come back to it a moment. Chakri, it slipped my attention. We did not discuss crude oil prices. 4-year lows, recessionary fears in the US, as also overcapacity being pumped out by the OPEC cartel. Your view on crude oil, and it definitely helps India's national balance sheet. Would there be winners for you in the equity space when you look at muted crude oil prices?
Crude oil lower is clearly good for India's import bill. But on the other hand, the crude oil is going down simply because of fears that there's going to be a global slowdown. A global slowdown is always bad for India too. So it is a double-edged sword. But on the other hand, what it does in the very short term is it lowers the fiscal deficits for the country, and it lowers the inflation for the country, for India. And these two factors are good enough to keep the market and revive the economy. So net, it is a positive for the country.
Okay. Mitesh ji, any winners in your mind as far as dip in crude oil prices is concerned? Indigo, of course, at a record high, 50-55% of its total costs are linked to rising or falling crude oil prices. Your view on crude oil first, and some winners that you can identify.
Yeah, so technically, crude, we are of the view that are on the verge of forming a bottom internationally. So we are of the view that at the current level, crude will form a bottom, and perhaps in the next 1 year or so, we may see $75-$80 going forward. Second thing, with respect to that view, probably it might be a contra, but ONGC is looking pretty interesting at this point of time. And we are of the view that going forward, ONGC will outperform this space. Recently, it has formed a bottom at 205, available at 241 or 42. So that is one space which we are looking at from the medium to long term perspective. And from the short to medium term perspective, we are of the view that Asian Paints will come back and again will probably try to trade in the range of 3,000 going forward. Stock is available at 2460 right now. So I think, yeah, two spaces from short to medium term Asian Paints, from medium to long term ONGC.
Hmm. These are sensible thoughts. Mitesh is staying with you. A quick one on two record highs. Erstwhile market darlings and doing phenomenally well. HDFC Bank and Bajaj Finance. Give us a view for the medium term. We've already discussed how falling interest rates are beneficial for both companies. What are the charts telling you?
So undoubtedly, both the stocks and the charts are looking pretty interesting. Let me come up with the upside target. HDFC Bank 2050 is the target, and as far as Bajaj is concerned, I think 10 to 15% upside is visible. Shelji, again, let me go back to the old thesis which says that bore will make you more. So before 6 or 8 months, nobody wanted to take these two stocks. Today, everybody's standing in the queue. So I think, yes, there is a very strong upside left, and probably the left out feeling will make them trade at a higher level. So yes, both the stocks will available at around 10 to 15% upside from here on in the next 6 to 9 months.
Okay. Chakri, before we let you go for the day, one final word on HDFC Bank and Bajaj Finance. Fundamentally, where are they headed? The business update is yet to come, but the charts, but record highs tell us all.
Going forward for HDFC Bank with the RBI rate cut, incrementally its cost of funding will come down, and that has been the concern holding back the stock for a long time. So I think that this is the beginning of the HDFC Bank revival.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
have
you.
a nice day, Chakri.
Thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me a moment to dip into the market. A bit of profit booking at this point of time. 23,300 apparently seems to be getting tested on the Nifty, which is half a percentage point lower. The biggest pain point is the IT sector, where selling pressure is immense. At this point of time, 2.3% lower on IT. Let me just find out the pullers and draggers in the market. Okay. Infosys is pulling the Nifty down by 22 points. TCS is pulling it down by 14 points. L&T by 16. HCL Tech by 12. What is helping the Nifty on its journey up? ICICI Bank 1.25% higher, contributing 31 points in the green. Bharti Airtel 11 points in the green. HDFC Bank 7 points in the green. HDFC Bank, ladies and gentlemen, is the balancing act that the market is getting played very well. 11 rupees higher, needless to say, a fresh record high. Mitesh ji, coming back to you, in terms of all-time highs within the Nifty 500 universe, Chambal Fertilizers is something that you've just discussed. A view maybe on Eicher Motors?
Okay. So again, as far as Eicher Motor is concerned, the stock is has taken a very strong upside from the recent low that it has formed on 17th of February 2025 at 4646, and since then there is no looking back. Very strong chart strategy. I think, and I am of the view that going forward, stock will enter into a new trading range between 5,800 and 6,000. So one should definitely buy the stock, but again, the only request is that maintain a strict stop loss with respect to a trailing stop loss strategy. So you can buy today, for an example, if I have to give you a stop loss for the target of 6,000, then the recent low at around 5,182, which has formed on 9th of April 2025, should be your stop loss, and then just trail the stop loss and enjoy the rally. Probably the next pause will come between 5,800 to 6,000.
Okay, so that's something that's looking good. Mitesh ji, are there sectors and stocks which you still think are overvalued and you are not looking at those charts on the long side?
Probably one of the most difficult question, but yes, few of the private banks are not looking that promising right now. Case in point like Axis Bank, case in point like ICICI Bank, you might see some sort of a mild correction out there. Apart from that, one space which is again not giving us a comfort is the platform companies like Nika or Paytm or other like Zomato kind of a thing, where we think that probably 8 to 10% correction is here and it is due. So I
Hmm.
think these are the few pockets where I think the short-term corrections are due. But again, Shailji, you need to be careful because here we are talking about 5 to 10% correction only. So once the tide will turn, you should be on the buy side.
Okay. Uh, a view on IndusInd Bank, Miteshji. The reason why I ask is that in the last week, it's been the top performer on the Nifty, up 15%. Of course, pain points within Indus in are very well known in terms of their balance sheet problems and now issues with the Reserve Bank of India. But what are the charts telling you as far as this stock is concerned?
Okay. So, Shanji, the chart structure like in this kind of pattern goes like this, that when the stock has beaten down very heavily in the recent past with a very strong volume, generally you will see a periodic pullback. So what we have seen recently is a periodic pullback from the low of 606 to the high of 798. But such rally will not continue going forward. So if you buy probably if you're bought probably at the lower level, it is advisable to exit at the higher level. But again, two things one should not do. First, don't be very aggressive buyer in these kind of stocks looking at the current rally. And second, also don't be aggressive seller looking at the a chart saying that probably the rally will fizzle out. In short, what we call in technical terminology is a consolidation phase. So probably the stock will move 5% in 5% to 10% range from the bottom to the top from the current price, and will spend a quality time in consolidation. So let me put it this way. The stock will move in the range of 710 on the downside and 880, 850 on the upside for the next considerable period. And for us, the considerable period is around 3 to 6 months. So from here on, for the next 3 to 6 months, the range will be 720 on the downside and 850 on the upside. Advisable to absolutely avoid the stock both on the buy side or on the sell side.
Hmm. Okay. Please allow me a moment, Miteshji, to visit volume buzzers in the market. We've already done about 20 minutes of trade. And there you have it. A strong move on India Cement, 5.6% higher, almost at a kissing distance to 300. A strong move coming into beaten down PSU stocks in the insurance space. NIACL, 5.9% higher, 177. Can't remember the last time I saw NICL's chart. GIC Ray, 4.5% higher, 437. You have these moving on very, very strong volumes. A quick view on India Cement, Miteshji. Volume is already 9 times 5-day average, about 20 lakh 50,000 shares.
Yeah, so today, Selji, it's a day for India Cement for a breakout because the stock yesterday has made a high of 289, and since last 4 to 5 days, there is no volume, such a strong volume activity. So today there is a strong volume activity in the counter, and we are of the view that India Cement will now touch its upper end of the range of 302. It's already trading at 300. So once 302 is taken out, probably the next pause is at 346. So the much awaited breakout with price, what we call price volume breakout, has occurred today. If the stock close above 302, we are looking for 346 to 360 in next 1 week.
Okay, 301, 302, ladies and gentlemen, is also the 200-day moving average for the stock. So this is something that, if broken, will trigger a fresh up move. 9:38. Let me just move into the broader markets and fish out some interesting stocks for you. Grasim 0.5% higher. I think it makes sense to look at cement today, given the fact that India Cement is doing extremely well. Okay, Sagar Cement is 1.3% higher at almost 214. Saurashtra Cement 1.2% higher at 85.3. JK Lakshmi half a percent higher, 818. Orient Cement, Dalmia Bharat, Star Cement, all are amongst gainers, modestly so. A breakout happening on delivery, 273.85. One of those rarely overvalued spaces, despite a very strong correction in prices. Let's just see what delivery is doing. Uh, Miteshji, a dead cat bounce or something for the better?
No, very well put it. A dedicated bounce. I think the stock need to sustain about 295, which is far away from here. So
Mhm.
then only we can say that the bottom is in place, and yes, now the stock is for a serious, strong up move. Till that, it's a dedicated bounce. So you can play this bounce. Don't try to short this counter. But yeah, no need to go long in this counter. About 295, it's a genuine breakout, which will help you to take to the tune of 305, 306. So as
Mhm.
of now, so far so good. If you have it, enjoy the rally, but don't carry the stock. Advisable to book the profit at the current level.
Mhm. Mitishji, uh, any view that you would have on the Nifty Metals Index? This is, of course, linked globally and has come under intense scrutiny in terms of what China is doing, in terms of what recessionary fears are brewing in the US. Of course, if the US slows down, so will China, and China is the largest consumer of the Nifty, uh, uh, is the largest consumer of metals per se. How do you see the metal space?
A very interesting discussion, Sanjeev. And if I look at the monthly chart for the month of this September 2024 and October, the stock has the index Nifty Metal has formed a double top and the range of 10,263 to 10,322. After that, it had recently made a low of 7690. We are of the view that, as I said, I mentioned in my PSU stock about sale, we are of the view that both on the weekly and monthly chart, the indices has formed a bottom and probably we will not see this or revisit this bottom of 7690 in the financial year 2025-26. So it's a perfect and the right time to go long in certain stocks. One of the stocks which we like very much within the space is Hindalco. So coming back to the original discussion of Nifty Metal, we are of the view that bottom is in place and going forward, the trend reversal level is 8800. So once the indices close above 8800, it's a very strong up move, and after that, it will hit a new high. So probably we may see a strong performance in metals for the financial year 25-26 in the picking order, two stocks, Hindalco followed by Steel Authority.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the heat map for the market. A buildup of short positions is happening in Wipro. Futures are down 5.6%, and this is accompanied by a very strong uptick on open interest, up 16.5%. Ditto for L&T Mindtree, stock futures down 4.4%, and open interest is up 3.2%. KPIT Tech down 2.8% in futures, 1117. Open interest surging 3.1%. And of course, a similar situation seen in HCL Tech. What else is showing weakness? You have persistent Coal India and of course Coforge as well. So results not being taken very well by the market. Sustained selling pressure coming in. Nifty Bank, on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, is doing phenomenally well. Now 257 points higher. Let's analyze the Bank Nifty chart with Mitesh Ji. As I have been pointing out, it's been a very, very strong outperformer. And this could be, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very interesting thought. 53, 370, and the all time high on the banking index is 54, 345. So just 1,000 points off from its all time high. Mitesh ji.
Yeah. So Bank Nifty again is in a very interesting spot, and since the turnaround recently in the market, we have seen a phenomenal participation in Bank Nifty. Even today, if you see, there is a complete divergence. So sooner than later, we will see an all-time high into Bank Nifty. And as you know, the hero is in the full form. The Sehwag and the kind of a Tendulkar of Bank Nifty, HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank, both are in full form. So I think yes, sooner than later we will see, and we may see a surprising participation strategy from the PSU space. So I think
Yes.
SBI, PNB, Union Bank, Bank of India, and Bank of Baroda is actually standing in a queue to perform pretty well. So there is no surprise going forward that these stocks may outperform Nifty and HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Okay, what a brilliantly wonderful explanation of standing in queue. I'll request the PCR to fire the longer term chart of Bank Nifty, ladies and gentlemen. On 11th of March, the index was somewhere like 47,500, and in 22 trading sessions, it is at 53,350. That's a rally of 5,600 points in a span of less than a month, and we are just 1,000 points shy on the index for an all-time high. So this is a very well explored theme. Cut in interest rates. Before that, a 1 lakh crore rupee bonanza coming in form of tax benefits for the middle class. This has perked up banks, and no better than HDFC Bank's chart to explain this wonderful uptick. Uh, Miteshji, do you see ICICI Bank as well? This is, ladies and gentlemen, at a fresh record high. So 1381 for you. A view on ICICI Bank, Miteshji, and then Axis Bank as well.
Yeah, so I think we have discussed this recently, that which space is looking bit of an overbought. I think both ICICI Bank, even though it is trading at a lifetime high, we think that the kind of confidence which we have in HDFC and Kotak, we don't have in ICICI and Axis. So probably the term which I use is we are cautiously optimistic technically in both ICICI and Axis, but we are ultra bullish on both HDFC and Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Okay. Where do you see Kotak headed?
Probably again going forward, if you look at the chart pattern of Kotak recently, it has formed a bottom in the range of around 2000 to 2037 for the 7th of April 2025. And what we see in the new going forward in this rally is that stock will overcome its all-time high, which it has formed in the year 2021, about 2253, and eventually the Kotak Mahindra Bank will be traded at 2400, 2500 by the financial year end 2025-26. So 2500, 2400, 2500 is what we are looking at.
Okay. All-time high, as Miteshji has pointed out, on Kotak Bank is 2225, 2225. We saw it in October of 2021, ladies and gentlemen. So Kotak is trying to overcome a 4-year uh, uh, sideways trend as far as markets are concerned, and that will be a wonderful, wonderful situation for private banks as far as the view is concerned. Remember, a record high on HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank is all that you need. They comprise of somewhere like 60% of Nifty Bank, and or also the two highest weighted counters in the Nifty. So it's a good move forward as far as these two individual stock futures are concerned. Miteshji, a quick one on Shriram Finance.
So Shriram Finance is concerned, stock is now again trading very rare stocks from this space which are about to trade near its all-time high. So if I look at the weekly chart from the last week low of 589, it has a very strong bounce, and now probably at in the range of 695, 700. A minor resistance is there, but stock will definitely cross it and enter into a new trading range. And sooner than later, we may see this space trading at an all-time high. The all-time high was formed in the year 2024 at 730.45 to be very precise. So going forward, we are of the view that stock will trade between 750 and 800. One can go long at the current level.
Mhm. Any other NBFC or housing finance company, Miteshji, which is craving your attention? Maybe PNB Housing.
Yeah, exactly. That is the chart which I have opened it. I mean, PNB Housing Finance from its recent low of 746 has shown a very remarkable upside. So now the stock is trading at 4 digit. Sooner than later, we may see stock trading at 1200 and 1300. So yes, PNB Housing Finance is one stock which one should go long at the current level.
Mhm. Uh, Anything in the pharma space, Miteshji, where you feel that attention should be given on the long side, sir?
As far as pharma is concerned, our old favorite remains still the same, and that is Sun Pharma. We are of the view that after the recent fall down from the level of 1959 to the tune of 1553, a strong rebound, and it will convert into a good trend going forward. So Sun Pharma can be looked at.
Okay, okay. Let's just dip back into the market. The Nifty is showing signs of recovery. 23,422 is where the index is. It's driven very, very smartly by the banking space. It's HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank all the way, ladies and gentlemen. ICICI Bank at a record high is now contributing 46 points to Nifty's uptick. HDFC Bank contributing 19 points to SBI Nifty's tally. State Bank of India in top form, 0.5% higher in the green as far as Nifty's contribution is concerned. And Grasim, this is the cement play that is coming in, 2.8%, 1% higher. What's pulling the index lower is, of course, IT stocks, a bit buying in Infosys, or maybe covering of shorts will see the index performing very well. Let's look at the PSU basket. Uh, Insurance plays NIACL and JIC Ray. I'm requesting Miteshji to kindly take a look at NIACL in particular. This used to be a very, very high beta count. Yes, extremely beaten down, and now investors are rediscovering value. 176.30 up 5% today. Miteshji, what are the charts telling you?
Charts are telling us a good story, but the technical level comes above 185. So, Shailendra, wait for that. It on the 15 minutes chart, if the stock start trading above 185, then the doors are open, and probably sooner than later, we may see stock clocking a 20 or a 10% upper circuit. So, above 185, it's a clear buy for the potential target of 220, 230.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a 55% correction in NACL from its most recent high in July 2024. It was at 305. It went all the way down to about 150 somewhere in 3rd of March. So this undoubtedly is an extremely, extremely uh, uh, valuation uh, available. Just let me just get you some data on NIACL. This is a New India Assurance Company, one of the government insurers. And let me just tell you at what price to earnings ratio this one is trading at. Just allow me a moment, okay? This is still at a PE of 27. Price to book is 1.2 times. Dividend yield is 1.2%. Okay, but extreme undervaluation when you see the long term average. Let me just look at the median PE over the last 5 years. It's thereabouts, trading close to its 5 year median PE of about 22.8. Okay, how about GIC Ray, sir? How do you see this stock?
As far as GIC, General Insurance Company is concerned, again, the strong resistance level, LG, is at 450. So one should look at this counter only above 450. So if on the 15-minute chart you get a chance to get a close above 450, it's an excellent buy. Then there is no stopping. The first target would be 480, followed by 520.
Mhm. Okay, let's just look at the 5 year, the 5 day performance of Nifty Group stocks as far as markets are concerned today. Remember, this is the weekly expiry of the Nifty. Outperformance in banks and NBFCs, and of course, ONGC as well. I'm rather surprised with this one. 8.4% higher. That's mainly because of value buying and bottom fishing. This is directly linked to crude, and if crude slips, they have issues as well. Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises, two stocks are also up 8.1% and 8% respectively. Mitesh ji, these are fundamentally strong stocks within the Adani group. Would you hold a view on Adani Ports in particular for the medium term?
Absolutely. So, just to give you a disclaimer, we have given a buy rating in all the four stocks available in the FNO space. That is Adani Energy, Adani Enterprise, Adani Green, and Adani Port. Particularly about Adani Port, yes, the stock is trading at around 1225. We are of the view that sooner than later, stock will enter into a new trading range about 1280 to 1320. So, with a stop of 1200, one can go long in this counter. And remember, Selji, this is a forgotten space since last so many weeks and months. The entire group, Adani Group. And I think that Adani Group will come back with a very strong upside and a surprise. So we are ultra bullish on this sector. Advisable all the viewers to maintain a strict stop loss while dealing with this high beta group and high beta counters. But yes, one can see a phenomenal run going forward in the next 6 to 9 months. One should not miss to put money in the stocks.
Okay. Mitesh, before we let you go, your final view on the Nifty, given the fact that its component Bank Nifty is headed for record highs, and one part of the Nifty, which is the IT space, is in terrible shape. Overall, how do you see the remainder of April and maybe May and June as far as this index is concerned?
So as far as Nifty is concerned, we are ultra bullish strategy. Let me give you a larger view and then come to the shorter view. For the financial year 2025-26, we may see Nifty trading at an all-time high. We may see a strong possibilities hitting a new high this financial year only. It is not because of the fact that Bank Nifty is heading for the all-time high. So we are duplicating that message for Nifty. No, the structure of the market is so weird right now that it is very important to look at the market from a different perspective. And when your one index, that is Nifty, Bank Nifty, is available at an all-time high, your Nifty IT is available at an all-time low, your metal is now picking up. So when we have formed this view strategy by looking at the sectoral indices. So for this year, we may see a new high going forward. As far as April, May, and June is concerned, we are of the view that Nifty will trade between 24,500 to 25,000 in the next 3 months. This expiry, we are expecting about 23,800. So there is a 400 point upside which we are looking at going forward.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mitesh ji, आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर, you have provided relief to lots of investors who have seen terrible times in the last 8 months. Of course, this is a part of market correction and a part of overall learning that you take corrections in the same spirit as you take bull markets. But yes, all the signs are there for long-term watchers that markets are headed higher, whether it's crude oil prices at 4 year lows, whether it is falling interest rates, whether it is domestic markets that are doing extremely well, and India's relatively less exposure to the US market is some of the things that are working very well. Miteshi, thank you so much. We look forward to welcoming you again.
Yes, sir. Only in the concluding remarks, only one statement, Shalji, because you are not available, now and then. So we are forming an equation of 20 years of an experience, maximum uncertainty is equal to maximum margin of safety. That's
Yes.
what we feel, because the stock is moving from a weak hands to a strong hand. So maximum uncertainty is equal to maximum margin of safety is equal to money multiplication of the money. So right now that opportunity which we are seeing, and let's see whether we'll hit an all-time high in the year 2025-26 or not. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure that will happen. A good day to you, Miteshji. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Shri Mitesh Panchal, extremely bullish on some parts of the market, including the PSU banking space. We'll call it a day here. The Nifty on its weekly expiry is still down 29 points, consolidating after rising 4.2% in the past 5 trading sessions. There is no stopping banks. Record high on ICICI Bank, record high on HDFC Bank. The Nifty banking index is 350 points higher at 53,467, just shy of an all-time high, down about, which is about 1,000 points away. Pain continues in the IT space. The index has shed 2% at 32,632. Fertilizer stocks, parts of the PSU setup, and of course, public sector insurance such as NIACL and GIC Ray are doing very well. Risk on trade is back primarily in the public sector space. Private banks are doing very well, and as also NBFCs. Thank you for watching Business Today Television. There's a lot that's happening on the other side of the break. Please stay tuned.
What does the post-tariff world look like? Lots of conversation the world over around how this impacts the United States,